Listening to Firewoman. Go Firewoman was playing just as I started this video, by golly. But you don't care about that, do you? No, we don't. Why do you tell us stuff we don't care about? It's kind of what I do. It's my shtick. Anyway, Hungry Hollow Brewing Company limited release Clovis from the fully fluted series. Hungry Hollow out of Cassville, Missouri. Where's Cassville, you ask? Nobody knows. It's not the middle of nowhere, but you can see it from there. Anyway, stole the Robin Williams line there. But anyway, Clovis, fully fluted series. It's a bourbon barrel aged India Pale Ale. I shit you not. Oh, 12% it is. 12%, alrighty. The rarest of rare, just like this brew, the fully fluted Clovis Point. Oh, or this is Clovis. Anyway, one more time, right? Just like this brew, the full. Oh my lord, I haven't even had a beer yet, and I can't speak. One more time, cut and action. Just like this brew, the fully fluted Clovis Points age is what makes it such a killer find. Imperial IPA, aged in a bourbon barrel with wild Belgian and champagne yeast. You know what? I didn't read that before I poured it because, I mean, it pours, man. A lot of times I've had bourbon barrel or barrel aged IPAs and it almost kills the carbonation. So I poured it rather aggressively, and this one just came to life on me, man. It came out there, man. I ain't kidding. Anyway, so I just poured a little bit here to do a video. Well, yeah, what's interesting here, wild Belgian and champagne. Yeah, you can feel that almost that sour wild yeast-like note on the nose, which I wasn't expecting here. You certainly get some barrel notes as well. I don't know if this was done specifically for the Brown Derby here, but let's have that Brown Derby label here, which is interesting. Oh, there we go. Yeah, maybe if I can read this bottom here. Crafted in our wood-fired steam brew house. Yeah, you know, it's interesting. I was out there before Joe opened the brewery. Joe Zuka is an incredible brewer. He cut his teeth with Boulevard. Also did some work with Bike Rack there in Bentonville, Arkansas. But boy, right now he's doing some of the best craft beer on the planet, and that's no joke. Crafted in our wood-fired steam brew house deep in southwest Missouri's Hungry Hollow, inspired by our friends at Brown Derby. So there, it's a collaboration with the Brown Derby. So there you go. Well, let's just take a drink and see what we got, huh? Oh my God. Okay, I'm just going to take a minute to process. Wow, that is good. So I get this almost tart-like note on the nose, which is kind of throwing me off. But when I took a drink, I got sweetness that I wasn't expecting either. It has a very tight, almost champagne-like carbonation. It's not a sour-like tartness, but there is just a very slight tartness the way it cleans up and dries up at the finish. Just I mean, it's not necessarily tart, but it's hard to explain. Just a little bit of where you think it's just about to get tart, but doesn't quite get there. So barrel-aged IPA. Here's the thing. When you barrel age an IPA, you're going to take those sharp hop notes out. You can feel the hops in there, but you don't get that sharpness of the hops that typically finishes an IPA. Those lingering hop notes of whatever hops they're using. If you're using an Amarillo, where you're going to get some orange, possibly grapefruit notes. If you're using a Mosaic or a Citra, where you're going to get a lot, or Galaxy, where you're going to get a lot of tropical fruit notes ending. When you barrel age an IPA, it tends to take those away. and you replace it with, well, some of those barrel notes. What I feel is a very slight oakiness. I certainly feel some of those bourbon barrel notes. Wow. Again, just the slight vanilla, maybe just a hint of barrel spice as well. Mm. But the combination of the Belgian yeast and the Champagne yeast is very interesting. Wild Belgian and Champagne yeast. Yeah, it really takes us in a lot of different directions. Um, so here's my take on it. If you're looking for, if the only thing you read from this bottle is IPA, it may not be exactly what you're looking for. But if you look at all the notes that this possibly could have, it's brilliant. Yeah, it's one of those beers that I personally love because I love the complexity that you're never going to pick out of, especially a little glass that I've got here. And to be honest with you, I bet I could drink 4 of these over 4 different days and come up with a new aroma and note that I didn't find the first time. A beer like this beer, it really is that complex. Joe Zuka over there at Hungry Hollow is one of the best craft brewers in the country, in my particular opinion. Not that I've met a lot of them, and I've met a lot of fine ones, but I love the direction he's taking with Hungry Hollow. He started doing just a lot of, a lot of big beers, right? Joe likes an ABV. Him and I have had this conversation. But he's also stretched his legs a little bit and have done some more approachable stuff as well that's available in the tap room. But what Joe does is not run-of-the-mill beer, and that's what makes him special over there. 100 years ago, well, one of the early craft brewers was Thomas Kemper out of Seattle. And it was right about that time when brewers just first started, breweries, I guess I should say, first started getting cute with their labels, trying to come up with clever names. Talking Talker for one out there in Colorado. But what was great about Kemper was that their tagline was fine art on tap. And why I bring that up is, well, everybody else is trying so hard to come up with clever cartoon labels and clever names. And Hungry Hollow kind of gives me that, that feel of fine art on tap, which is what craft beer started out to be. The notion that American craft beer, could be more than just the macro adjunct lager that everybody knew at the time. Of course, craft beer has gone a whole different direction since then. But I love we got this brewery, and I hope he stays this way, to be honest with you. I hope he doesn't decide at some point to try to get clever with the names and have nice cartoon labels or, funny cartoon labels, I guess. I like that he's got this fine art on tap approach to his labels and the names of the beers. But then you get out to the brewery and it's a whole different thing. So if you get a chance to visit Joe at Hungry Hollow, well, you're probably lost, man. You probably got lost on the way somewhere and ended up in Cassville. Because I don't know that anybody goes there on purpose. But but if you end up there, oh man, you got to visit Joe and the folks at Hungry Hollow Brewery here in Cassville, Missouri. My apologies to Cassville. My apologies for the frivolity. Anyway, cheers. I am Tom the Beer Whisperer, Beer Evangelist, prolific for drinking, beer all around. Good guy. Cheers. I hear they're getting a stoplight there in Cassville. I mean, they haven't got it in yet, but they got the colors picked out. Anyway, cheers.